An intruder has probed the defenses of the settlement for the last 2 days. Greenbrier encampment is well known in the area. They have sustainable sources of food, water. It can produce some rudimentary medicines and electricity. All of this capability has also meant that they have rival encampments, nomads, and remnant government forces that want to take it from them. So Jacob assumed that the man hiding behind the disabled truck is one of them. Jacob commanded a weapon more suited for a standoff gun battle and the high ground. He was confused as to why the intruder would even attempt to engage in a battle with such a clear disadvantage. Jacob would have expected something like this maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but not now, not this late in the game. If the intruder had survived this long, he had to be skilled to some degree. So why was he making such a rookie mistake? Jacob yelled for the man to leave the area, but he didn't. The intruder yelled something back, but Jacob could not hear the man's replies over the wind. The one disadvantage of this location, highly perched on the ruins of the old interstate. Again, Jacob called down to him. He was a man of action, but he was tired of killing. 2 years ago was the last time he had to kill a man, and he wanted to keep it that way. Unaware to the intruder, 2 other members of the settlement's defense team moved closer. This team was a small squad that moved around the perimeter of the settlement to give rapid support to any incursions. The intruder was exposed and could be taken down easily, but they didn't want to kill recklessly either. A lone man was no threat to the settlement, and they didn't want to make a misunderstanding with another settlement, hurt trade, or worse, start a war. Jacob raised his gun and pointed at the man. He looked down the scope at the profile of the man. It was slightly familiar. He pulled the scope back and then looked again. Was his mind playing tricks on him? He knew this man, but he couldn't tell who it was. The full beard and dirt on his face made it difficult to make out his feature, but he knew this man before it happened. The jacket. That jacket. Jacob tried to dig into memories that occurred a lifetime ago. Jacob reached for the radio on his hip. He needed to tell the sweep team to stand down until he can get closer. The squawk of the radio startled the intruder and gave away the position of the sweep team. He pointed the pistol at the sweep team. They fired first, hitting him in the shoulder and the leg. The intruder fell to the ground. Jacob saw the exchange and yelled over the radio not to kill him. The sweep team moved closer to the intruder with guns drawn. It took 10 minutes for Jacob to get down from the overpass. As he walked closer to the intruder, his dog started to run towards the man. The dog was trained to sniff out for bombs and other devices, but this seemed different. He went to the man and licked his dirty face and wagged his tail. Once Jacob saw this, he ran toward the intruder. When Jacob reached him and looked down at his face, he was correct. He knew the man. It was the best man in his wedding. It was his friend since he was 5 years old. Jacob collapsed to the ground and grabbed the man. As he looked back up at Jacob, tears flowing from both of their eyes. Jacob's longtime friend Mark was still bleeding, screamed for them to radio for help and to assist him in the application of the field dress. The man pointed to his pocket and told Jacob to grab the note. A map with a settlement clearly marked with a red circle, arrows, and the name Jacob was written on the note. 75 miles to the south was another circle with 3 names: Mark, James, and Maria. More tears fell from the man's eyes. James was one of Jacob's sons, and Maria was his wife.